Lord Vader. Lord Vader, I'm afraid.
No, I said pina colada, not mojito.
So the cameraman, he's escaped.
I'm too busy with an important Imperial meeting. You'll have to take care of it yourself.
Absolutely, sir. I will not fail you.
Use the full might of the Empire. I want these rebel cells eradicated.
As you wish, Lord Vader.
See it done. Can I have a big fluffy hat?
Home. Home. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Bloor on Mandalore. I am your host, Jeremy Bloor. So glad I have you back. We got a couple of new themes for the latest episode of Bad Batch. Episode 8, Bad Territory. Now, I think you might realize that I may have a southern accent, and that is because, well, hell, it is Louisiana Bayou themed. And I'm going along with that theme, and I got a little bit of meditation that I learned from Omega, who learned from Gunji, who learned from the Wookiees, who maybe might have taught her some of the ways of the Force, how to be a little closer. But we'll dive deeper into that on Bloor on Mandalore. Let's get to it. Guys, welcome back. This has been a surreal experience for me. Episode 5. I don't know what that is in any other language. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco for our Spanish listeners. And we also have, for our Latin speakers, V. Not to be confused for our English viewers. That means up yours. I don't want to be anywhere near yours or even up it. I have my little theme going on right now because we have a pretty cool episode. But if you don't think that wasn't heavily influenced by the Bayou, I'm going to tell you, you got something going on with you. I immediately thought of this show that I watched when I was younger called Turtle Man. Turtle Man was the coolest show that I could ever watch on TV. It was on Animal Planet. Basically, there was a guy who, for no money at all, he didn't ask for any money. He asked for random things. He asked for, like, food. He asked for food. He asked for different things for around the house. He basically just wanted to help out, and he got alligator snapping turtles from lakes, and he would watch, and it's how the little bubbles, how they're popping up, and what's going where, and movement here, and he was basically Hunter for Louisiana people. I don't know what to say. I'm from Australia. I don't know what the hell is going on when it comes to that, but we have something very similar. We have what's called a bogan. A bogan is someone who is basically from... He's like really country, you know. It's the exact same thing as a redneck. Redneck, bogan, synonymous, but our ones have cooler accents. So, to any of you rednecks listening to this, well, guns, violence, and a whole lot of dookie. I thought maybe I just got a couple more followers from the great country of America. Guys, a little bit of an update to the set. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it already, I'm not going to update it every time, but if you were just looking around and maybe you were curious. First of all, guys, this is a cozy show. Sit back, relax, chill out, brother. Let's just talk about Star Wars. The greatest thing on this damn earth right now. Because, look, you could be going through a breakup. You could be having a tough time with a death in the family. Maybe a dog pooped on your bed and it smidged, and next thing you know, you have to clean your sheets and you're stuck in there with the washing machine for hours and hours because you put the laundry in and you packed it too tight, and then the part that had the poo on it didn't clean, and then you took it out of the washing machine to put it in the dryer, and when you put it out, you grabbed your hand in there and you pushed it, and then you pulled it out, and you got a little bit of poo on your hand, and you realize you have to wash it again. But it was an hour cycle. For anyone who has that specific situation, while you're doing your washing, come sit back and relax. Got a hell of a show. It wasn't a very big episode. So we are doing a little bit outside. We are venturing outside of Bad Batch for just a little bit. And we're going to talk about a few things. But before I do that, we're getting extra cozy, extra comfy. That is so hot. I had to make it extra hot because I knew it was going to sit there for a while. I have my tea. I have green tea. Thank you. For the guys, I specifically chose this mug for the guys at Mortis FM. Your very first comment that you made on my YouTube video was, I think this guy likes Mandalorians. I can't tell. Well, I have probably about 10 Mandalorian / Star Wars mugs. My favorite mug I'll have on next time. Gonna do a new mug every episode. Maybe not every episode, because that means I'd only have 10 episodes to do it, and I have to keep on going out and buying. And I don't have enough space in my cupboard to keep more mugs. I went to JB Hi-Fi. JB Hi-Fi, for all of the American viewers, that is basically just a retailer that does a lot of technology stuff, comic things. It's kind of like, how do I explain it? Freedom Guns. It's kind of like, it's just a tech store. It's literally just a tech store. But we don't have a lot of places that sell all the figurines and comic book stuff. We have like EB Games, which is your... I don't even know what your one is of EB Games, but you got a pretty big one there. Anyways, you got EB Games here, Zing, and then, yeah, I picked up... JB Hi-Fi does like a couple of different things from there. And they had this one out back. I will zoom in on that one, which I did that effect for the first time. I was so proud of myself. So drop a W in the chat if you liked my editing skills. Make it back in. I have the Mandalorian and Grogu after they were while they're fighting the Mudhorn. Pretty sick. Basically, it comes with Mando all beaten up. He doesn't have a vibro blade, which kind of irked me a bit because that's what he was holding when he's like, I'm gonna fucking get this guy. And then Grogu comes up and he's like, I've got you, father. And drops him down. And the Mudhorn's like, oh, what the hell? I've been outforced. Fucking no idea how they did that, but it was cool. So, I've been having my eyes on that set for so long. In the past, I had a certain someone who said, this is not my current girlfriend, by the way, but I had a certain someone who said to me, don't waste your money on the stupid little dolls. So guess what? I've got a very beautiful and supportive girlfriend, and she lets me spend money on stupid dolls. So I bought it. It was out back. It was on clearance. That's like a season 1 exclusive. I'm actually obsessed with it. I had my eyes on it for so long, and I was like, oh my god, it's like the definitive moment how he gets the Mudhorn signet on his shoulder, on his pauldron, sorry. And I could never find it. I looked all online. Everyone was selling it for freaky amounts of money. And I got such good luck. When I went in there, it had two pricing points on it. It had 44. This is AUD, by the way, so that'd be about 22 American. So it like $44, but then a little sneaky, it had on the back of it 34. Now I don't know if someone peeled off the 34 and put it on the back so it would be more expensive, But I went up to the guy and I was like, hey, I'm willing to pay both prices, you know. I'm willing to pay both prices. I'm perfectly happy because I really want this set. Like, I've been obsessed with it for a long time. I gave him the whole spiel and he's like, oh, well, you know what? I'll give it to you for 34. And I was like, ah! Probably just yelled into the microphone really hard at you. Ah! I was so happy. Oh my God. I was just like, thank you so much. You're the best. Like, and he was like, no, just enjoy it. Like, set it up there, because I told him I'd put it on my set. And he's like, no, put it up there and enjoy it. And I was like, hell yeah. This wasn't my friend. I've got a friend at JB Hi-Fi who I met at JB Hi-Fi North Sydney. His name is Josh. Now, he's such a good bloke. And Josh, if you're watching this, I really appreciate our friendship. Every time I go into JB Hi-Fi, for the viewers, basically, he always we chat about Star Wars, we chat about the future of Star Wars and what's going on. I recommend him a whole bunch of stuff. He recommends me a bunch of stuff. We talk about things. He knows so much. He's really, really knowledgeable. And I love our chats. And I try to go in as much as I can to see him. A lot of the time I am in a rush, so I can't really see him too often. But every time I see him, it's such a pleasure. So Josh, if you are watching this, you're the best, man. You're the best. You're a really good dude. And you make my time every time I go to JB Hi-Fi. It's actually really cool. So, we are cozy. We are ready. Let's dive in. Now, as you know, I have my notebook. Well, my notebook. But I ran out of pages on my notebook. So upset. I'm going to put this pen away. I was so upset I ran out of pages on my notebook because I really like ripping the page and throwing it. That was kind of a cool thing, but that might have been an end of an era. If you want that, though, let me know in the chat, and I will just go get some more. I have a secret stash of my special work notebooks. Maybe I should have them, maybe I shouldn't. But I'm going to use this book now. This book actually, it has all of my ideas of the podcast that I was going, or like my YouTube channel that I was going to be doing before I did Blore on Mandalore, before I even had the idea of doing Blore on Mandalore. That name came to me literally the day that I was creating the name. Because I set myself a deadline. I was like, you have to have the name by this point. Come on, we got to fucking... the guys at the Beyond the Dune Sea giving me so much advice. I was like, I'm not going to let them down. I've got to do this. But I had a whole bunch of stuff and all of these different things. I've tried this podcast. I think I've said it in previous episodes, but I've done it like probably 3 times before that, filming countless hours and hours of content that I hated. I hated. But I learned to not be a perfectionist and just deal with it. So if you don't like what I've got going on, too bad, brother. I'm learning, but, you know, I'm doing it and I'm really enjoying it this way. I got this chair, and when I got this chair, I was like, that's it. I know. I was scrolling through Marketplace. I was going through a bit of a binge on Marketplace at the time. And I found this one, and I was like, oh my God, this is the chair. This is the podcast chair. My brother and I drove like 45 minutes to go get it. Insane. That's like another state in America. So... I'm done with the American slander for all of our American viewers here. Well, all of my American viewers. I've got to say there's no co-host. I was meant to have a co-host. What happened, dude? You left me here. High and dry. Now I've got to do all of this myself. Challenge accepted. No, I have no hate. I love you so much. Just wasn't the right thing for him. So, my vision, my goal, I got to smash it myself. Episode 8, Bad Territory. If you know the show, I go into why they call it that name. I think we all know if you've seen the episode. It's literally just a fucking shit country. Not country. Shit planet. Bad living conditions and also just like so many monsters. Louisiana in space is not very nice. It's not very nice. Not a lot of people are having fun there. And Fennec Shan just wants to kill Hunter and Wrecker, basically, by sending them there. Also, by the way, I thought just quickly, I'll introduce. This is my mullet. By the way, if any of you thought it was just a wig to make my hair look a little longer, no, it's a cool mullet, and you should put some respect on my name. So we go into the episode rating. Episode rating, I always do it out of 10. I give this one a 7.5 out of 10. Now, it was pretty good. It wasn't as good as the ones that were before it, though. So I'm just going to kind of let that one slide, go through to the keeper. Yeah, 7.5. It's still a really good score because I really like some of the themes that they brought into it, but it just didn't hit the same. But if this is around the lowest of the season, mate, we're in for a beautiful season. Episode ranking. Now, I've said this almost every time, but I'm going to keep on saying it. At the end of Bad Batch Season 3, I'm going to put my whiteboard up the back there. Or maybe I'm just going to hold it here. I don't really know. I'm going to figure that out. But I'm going to have my whiteboard and I'm going to talk through every single one of the episodes and the rating again and why I put it there. The reason why I'm going to do that is because I'm a sucker for recency bias. Recency bias is way too common on this channel. I love all Star Wars. I'm going to find a reason to love all Star Wars. You can convince me otherwise, but I promise you I'm going to go back to loving everything because it's my favorite fantasy universe. And I say fantasy because it's not sci-fi. It's my favorite fantasy universe. It's just my comfort. It's my comfort space. I know that I can switch everything off. I can do some of that Omega and Crosshair meditation. Sit back and just go. Let's watch Kenobi. So, it's always going to be important for me. And I guess I lean a little too much towards it being better than what it is. But at the end, I'm going to be really honest. I'm going to be brutally honest with all of the episodes because all of them put together lead up to, bigger and better things. And is it good because of the hype that it's bringing? Or is it really, is it actually good? Is it something that you really would want to watch again? All of these episodes I've watched 2 to 3 times already. I love it. Also, I filmed this the exact same night that the episode drops. I know that I release it on a Saturday. I release it on Saturday's AEDT, Australian Eastern Daylight Time. So some of the themes may have gone out, but all of the stuff that I'm filming now, I film on the night. So the main thing that I like doing with this is kind of testing my knowledge. It's bringing up a lot of how I can fix my memory and kind of work with what I've got and see what I know. And we'll learn, and I kind of revise stuff on the next episodes. So in doing that, I had a really big problem with remembering my favorite vehicle. How stupid's that? How do you forget your favorite vehicle? Well, I did, because I'm that stupid dumb bumhead. But I forgot the Juggernaut. Now, the Juggernaut is the vehicle that we see all throughout the Clone Wars, and we see as well in the Bad Batch trailer when they're going up the side of a mountain. I called it the big truck last week because I had one when I was younger and I always called it the big truck. And that's literally how I remembered it. Every time I was like, oh, big truck. I'm a 24-year-old, dude. And I'm saying big truck. So, yeah. That's my little revision from the previous episode. My favorite one. I'm going to put it here. The Juggernaut. Favorite. My favorite. Also, it's super windy right now. So if you hear that, apologies. Apologies to the listeners. I'm trying to remove a lot of the stuff from the audio anyway. Okay, so let's do a 1-minute review. Time. Beep. basically, this episode is about relatability. We're seeing a lot of the strengths of the batch, whilst also seeing their biggest weaknesses. On two sides of the coin, you have Hunter and Wrecker being super strong. Fennec needs them because of their highlighted skills. Wrecker's incredible strength and Hunter's immense tracking abilities. Followed by Crosshairs on the other side of the coin, his downfall of his shaky hand. I'm going to dive into a lot of that later, but as an overview, I really liked this episode. I thought it was awesome. Brought in a lot of stuff from the video games, which is what I'm really liking about Bad Batch, is they're adding info from video games. I'm a huge gamer. I love gaming, and I have played not all of the Star Wars games, but majority of them. I've still got to finish Knights of the Old Republic. I'm doing my first playthrough of that. It does get a bit hard because it really is old. So the gameplay, like all of the buttons are a bit weird, and I've got a newer controller, so it has more buttons, and sometimes it's not compatible. Either way, so I'm loving that they're adding in new lore. Well, yeah, new lore from the games, and also just adding in themes that we've seen outside of your regular movies and TV shows that might fly under the radar for a lot of the mainstream movie TV show fans, even just the movie fans, because some of the times you'll see it in the TV shows, especially the animated ones, because it's so easy to do stuff in animation compared to live. Okay, now before I get into anything with the next episode, sorry, with all of the theories and overviews and so on, I want to talk about the new trailer of Acolyte. So the new trailer of Acolyte dropped. We got such a cool trailer filled with blood and gory and just awesome characters. We have been introduced to what I believe could be one of my favorite Jedis ever. A Wookiee Jedi! Now, obviously, Gungi exists. They even talked about Gungi in this episode. We saw him in the previous season of Bad Batch. But now we get to see a fully grown Wookiee Jedi. Tell me I'm crazy, cuckoo, psycho, coconut pants. But I love Wookiees. Wookiees are my favorite species. Wookiees, and really closely followed by Gendai. Gendai are the guys you see in Jedi Survivor. He's like the big bad bounty hunter that is chasing down Cal and helping Dagan Gera. You also see him in the 2D animation. He's the bounty hunter Durg. But yeah, anyways, sorry, tangent. Wookiees are my favorite. If I was going to create a character, it would always... Like, if I was going to be a character in Star Wars, I'd be a Wookiee Mandalorian. For sure. For sure. I'd be a Wookiee Mandalorian. I love the brute strength and I love armor. Perfect combination there for you. Yeah, the trailer's insane. We don't get to see a lot of blood in Star Wars. We see Finn's helmet with the streak of fingers down his face. And now we're seeing some blood on the title of Acolyte. I forgot my word for a sec. Basically, it's a lightsaber. It's a lightsaber with blood on the hilt and also turning into a red blade. Now, Disney doesn't get a very good rap when it comes to a lot of their stuff that they're bringing up. But George Lucas would never add something so gory because he always believed that it was meant for the kids. Now, although this is meant for the kids, the Acolyte seems to be kind of driven towards a little bit of an older audience. We get a little more gore. We get a little more blood, guts, hopefully. Now, does the blood make sense being on the blade? Well, no, because a lightsaber's so hot that it would cauterize the wound. It would just burn everything, and then you wouldn't have any blood because everything's sealed off. But I'm loving just the action and the violence. There was a shot that they had in it as well when all of the Jedi were igniting their lightsabers and running into war. It was so similar to when they released the Knights of the Old Republic trailer, and you get to see the Jedi and the Sith running at each other like, ah, and having huge warfare like a medieval. Anyways, this is setting up to finish where Phantom Menace takes off. So we're going to see what is effectively the fall of the Jedi. But they don't really fall. They kind of just... they're prepping to fall, where they're allowing Sidious to rise. But with Sidious rising, he has to kill who? A Plagueis. We're going to see Plagueis, hopefully. If we don't see Plagueis, he's going to be mentioned. He has to be. He has to be. He is the champion of that time. Plagueis the Wise. Super strong, super smart, only succeeded by someone who is more cunning and villainous. And Plagueis trusted Palpatine a lot more, well, Sidious, I guess. Trusted Sidious a lot more than he should have. And he shouldn't have taught him everything he knew. We obviously heard that in Revenge of the Sith, but it's really cool that they're kind of expanding on it now. I know that George Lucas wouldn't expand on a lot of his prequel thoughts, but Disney's creating a new wave of understanding within their universe. They're expanding on everything. I hope that by the time Disney's done with Star Wars, we're going to have such a good in-depth overture of the whole Skywalker saga that it might be rivaling the lore of Warhammer. Here's hoping. Now, that stuff is deep. I could never get into that, but I have one of my closest mates, Jack Muston, who is obsessed with it, and he has a lot of fun doing it, and I tell you what, I see it's such an incredible world to be in. I hope Star Wars can kind of get to that level. It can transcend the ownership. Whenever I look at Star Wars, I never see the Disney logo. I heard that from Connor from Beyond the Dune Sea, and really resonated with me because I don't look for it. I look at Star Wars. I listen to the music. I hear the sounds. I talk with the characters. It's all about what you get out of the show and not who created it. So when all these people keep on hating on everything that Disney's bringing out, it kind of worries me because I'm like, how do you call yourself a Star Wars fan and then hate on it so much? You're going to be the reason why we don't get any more Star Wars. There might be merit in that. There might be merit in, hey, let's not, flog a winning horse. But we might actually, a lot of people would argue that there's a massive benefit of quitting while you're ahead. It's like you don't go further than 3 seasons, like Bad Batch. You could extend Bad Batch out for so long. Oh, there's an adventure of the week, Mandalorian style. But I don't think it works. They're doing really well with ending it at 3 seasons. Could Star Wars do the same? Could they have just ended it completely at the Skywalker saga? Yes. Would that make Disney any money? No. So they're not going to do it. They're going to try to fix what they did wrong and right their wrongs in a way of storytelling through their own lenses. Look at the directors. Don't look at the executives. The executives might have a lot of say towards the end. They might want to bring back characters like Grogu in Book of Boba Fett. But is that necessarily a bad thing? Let's look at the directors. Let's look at the writers. Let's see why they would do it. And that's kind of the way I want to gear the rest of my podcast. A lot of the time I was just describing what happened in the episode and then talking about it, but I really want to understand why. Why do they do what they do? Why are they acting the way they are? Can we change it? Or are we just going to see it crumble? Ooh! Scary! Anyways, let's go into the episode. I wrote a lot of stuff on this one. Now, yeah. Look. You can scour the internet. I'll talk about what the internet had to say about it later. I'm testing to see if it's too hot. But I'll say later what the internet thought. But the general consensus is it's a filler, right? I don't think this episode's a filler at all. I mean, look, it's the closest thing that we're going to get to a filler, I think, in this season. They needed to do it. They needed to stretch it out. It can't always be, oh, look, this is what they're doing now. And, oh, look, this is what they're doing now. And, oh, look, this is what's going on. It can't always be that way, dude. You can't always get action. You're going to need a little bit of a lull. They need to kind of step back and go, oh, can we have a breather? Can we just take a rest for a sec? We need to find out what the hell's going on. You can't just leap into everything blind. And I think they did a really good thing in this episode to kind of... They're recapping what happened in the previous seasons whilst also expanding on it and finishing it up. Get to see some old characters. We get to see some new characters. But they have a lot of the older themes to it. So I'm keen. Basically, we start off the episode and Rex and Echo are gone. Now, I don't know why they thought it would be good to split up the whole crew again. I thought that with Rex and Echo losing so many of their men, they actually wouldn't want to let them go. They would be like, oh, can we stay with the batch the whole time? Let's figure it out. But, you know, obviously Rex is going, I need to fight the fight. And Hunter's like, I don't know what we're going to do. They're soldiers now. They're soldiers and they always will be soldiers. But Rex kind of, if I'm honest, I thought he should have stayed with the batch. I just think it makes it more impactful when it gets towards the end. I think they can all work together. This is transcending the batch now. It has to. From the next episodes, it has to transcend the batch. It has to be the clones in general. Clones being every clone. The biggest clones. Rex. Echo. Rex being the biggest out of all of them. But we need to see more of the clones together, not just the batch. Now, this is going to happen. This is the way of the batch being like, oh, we know what we're doing now. Can we all join back up and help fight this thing? But what can you do? You've got the episode, you enjoy the episode, and you move on from it. Okay? You move on and you go, what did we learn from it? Well, I think the writers want to add Rex and Echo to be a focal point of a big final battle. Kind of like an Avengers. Like an Avengers. Oh, we got a whole army. And then Rex and Echo walk through with all of the clones. And like, what? And then Wolf kind of turns and he drops his gun and he's like, I'm not working for the Empire anymore. And then he picks the gun back up because he shouldn't get rid of the gun if he's fighting the people who are right next to him. Yeah, look. I hope they expand on that a little more. And I hope they don't continue with the Adventure of the Week kind of story. Because Adventure of the Week is fun. It's awesome. But it's fun and awesome if you're going to be doing more seasons. Just like Mando, we knew that they wanted to do 5 seasons. In the end, they're not doing 5 seasons. But we could obviously see that their story was going to go longer and longer. This one, they tell us, no, season 3 is it. Finito. Done. Done Skaroonies. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao. Have a good one. You're never going to get any more. Hopefully we get more of the animation, but you're never going to get any more of Bad Batch. Crosshair is a lot more fatherly as well in this episode. Now, I don't know if it's meant to strengthen like screen time wise, is it meant to strengthen their bond in our eyes? Are we meant to look at it going, oh, no, like Crosshair and Omega are really becoming a dynamic duo? I know that they're pushing Hunter and Wrecker together quite a bit. Hunter and Wrecker are always together when it comes to like a splitter. Now Omega is copying Crosshair. We saw her in the previous couple episodes with the toothpick in her mouth. And she's with him every time. She's helping him train. She's getting AZ to help fix his hand. Like a whole bunch of stuff. But is that because we're seeing the final moments of one of their characters? Personally, I think that either Omega is going to survive and everyone dies, or lately I've been leaning towards Crosshair being the only one that survives, and he learns from everything and he passes that on to someone new. Who's that going to be? No idea. But I feel like Crosshair turning to be good again, well, it leads us to a lot more character development than any of the other characters. He's gone from good to really bad to actually really good again. What's that going to leave us to? Is it also going to be a sacrifice of Crosshair? Is it going to be like he has to make the choice between him and Omega? And he goes, oh yeah, no, peace out. Peace out, brother. Bye. Have a good one. I'm gone because Omega's a lot more important. It kind of freaks me out because that's what they did with Tech. Tech has to stay dead. But beyond that, I'll say that constantly. But they did the same thing on Pabu with Tech and Omega, and now they're doing it with Crosshair and Omega. And Crosshair always, even in the past episodes, or especially in the past episodes, he's been helping every one of the crew by letting them go and then staying back and trying to take out whoever the person was, the Clone X. It looks like he's going to sacrifice himself. Look, all signs point to yes. I don't want it, mainly because I'm loving his character lately. I'm loving what they're doing with him. I'm loving that they've created someone who's lovable from someone who you were just like, what are you doing, dude? These are your brothers. Like, it had me on the edge of my seat while I was watching the season 1 and 2. Like, what are you doing, dude? You're killing clones. You're not, like, this is not you. Now we say it wasn't him. It wasn't him. It was who he thought he needed to be. I'll go into a lot of the mental stuff later, but I'm really liking the direction that these guys are going down. We see that Fee, she's the pirate lady, who, it's kind of funny the way Omega was explaining her, but she is a pirate. She's basically a female Indiana Jones in Star Wars. It belongs in a museum. But she's the new Sid. So if this is gonna continue with this bullshit of, oh well, Fee said that she needs us to come to this planet because we're dying and she's getting stuck and we need to help her. She's done so much for us. All right, let's completely diverge our mission. It's like, Sid was fucking annoying. I hated her the whole time. Hated her. I was like, what are you doing? Not only because I want to be a Wookiee, that she's a Trandoshan scum. For any of you who haven't watched, I talked about it in the previous episode, but Wookiees and Trandoshans have been at war for thousands of years. Thousands and thousands of years. You'll see even in Clone Wars when Ahsoka and all of these other Padwans were going through this Trandoshan forest, the Trandoshans in their HQ had Wookiee pelts up on the wall. Wild. Wild. It's a game for them. Anyways. So I put in here, why is Crosshair so out of the loop in the batch? Obviously, he wasn't there, but why? Now, I think he's out of the loop because they need him to be like, hey, like this is the obvious. They need him to be like, oh, you weren't there. You turned on us. You actually left us for dead. You tried to kill us. Don't forget that we were running away from you, which is why we went to all of these different places. And we experienced amazing things because of that you missed out on. Haters gonna hate, but he missed out on a lot. And they're really pushing so hard on that. Like, is it to do with his mental journey that's coming up? Again, I'll go on that. But why do the writers always want to push Crosshair being as bad as he was in the previous seasons when they're so obviously trying to push him back into the batch? Such adverse reactions from a lot of the fans, but every clone and every person seems to welcome him, but they're trying to force him away from the fans, being like, oh yeah, no, by the way, remember he did this. And it's like, oh yeah. Personally, I think that it means he's going to do something they're reminding you, hey, he did all of this bad stuff. He's not doing well. He's not doing well because of his hand. I think they're going to sacrifice him. And all of this, he's going to do it in a really good way. Kind of like a Kanan, when he pushes Hera and he's holding back the fire and the force restores his vision. And he looks at her and he just gets to see the final glimpse of how beautiful she was before he died. It was a beautiful gift, but I think something like that could happen with Omega. Possibly, Crosshair could have a huge sacrifice that leads to the shaping of Omega. And we could change his character for good. That is an arc completion for Crosshair. Good, bad, super good, dead, pass on his legacy. Because Omega is trying to be closer to Crosshair. She's trying to, even Hunter knows, like, hey, can you go talk to him about his hand? Like, they've got a connection, they've got a bond, he trusts her. He's also acting more like a father. I hope they expand on it. I hope they go into it, because I think we're in the last moments of Crosshair. Anyways. So, next page. Wow. I can't do the throwaway thing. I wish I could do the throwaway. We see Hunter and Wrecker go into the bar, very Star Wars-esque. You see that character, moi boy, the guy with the big old tarantula fangs at the front. He's kind of similar to my friend doesn't like you. I don't like you either. That group of people. Very Tatooine-esque. This is a Star Wars bar, people, filled with scum and villainy. Rebel scum. Was it Greedo that we saw? Did we see Greedo at the start? He has a very similar vest. He has a very similar outfit to what Greedo wore. Hey, he was a bit skittish, but he was also pretty stern. So I think we might have had a little bit of a glimpse of Greedo, and if that was, bravo, directors. Bravo. Love a good bit of Greedo. Han shot first. Did Han shoot first? Let's go rewatch every single movie and every single edition of the movie. We're not going to do that now. M-Count is their main agenda. Obviously, they're trying to find out, why the hell does the Empire need Omega? But because of that, they're giving up on a lot of time for other things. Basically, you're seeing them turn into fully fledged soldiers. This is their mission, and it's kind of the end of everything after that. Are they going to relax on Pabu, or are they going to relax on Pabu in a grave, 6 foot under? I'd love to see Omega as the last Ronin. I will always say it. I want to see Omega as the last Ronin, accept every single skill from everyone. Even, AZ. Do your little DNA slicing to get Rekka's strength onto Omega. That'd be so cool. She's got a pretty good template for cloning. I guess it could happen. Anyways, are they doing M count to lead towards Asajj Ventress? I think so. I thought that she was going to be in this next episode. Not going to lie. I thought it was going to be episode 8, Asajj Ventress all throughout it. Even if it was just like a last glimpse towards the end. Like, this mullet is so itchy. Even if it was like a last glimpse at the end, like, I found you. I can't do it at Asajj. It's like, I found you. Let me help you take down the Empire. But they don't. They show Fennec bloody Shand. But why do they add Fennec? Now, obviously, we saw her in season 2, and she's got the relations to Omega, blah, 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 blah. Sure, you want to go down that path? I'm going to go down a different path. I think they're adding Fennec Shand because Boba Fett is going to be in it. And who do we know is with Boba Fett in the Book of Boba Fett? Fennec Shand. Now, they don't know each other like that yet. Fennec isn't in a life debt to Boba, and she's not going to constantly serve him and be basically his assistant. However, I think it's just leading the fans towards them being like, oh yeah, she like knows the clones. And she talks with them all the time. She's dealt with the Batch. She's taken Omega. And if she finds out that Omega is kind of similar to a clone like Boba, well, what does that mean for a potential Boba Fett season 2? Are we going to see Omega in Boba Fett season 2? Look, I kind of talked about it just before, and I wrote down the notes here. Crosshair's hand is not able to heal from AZ. I like that. I like that AZ is not able to just be like, oh yeah, by the way, I could have done this ages ago. Beep. And then he's fixed. I enjoy that. I didn't want it to be that easy. However, I didn't think they were going to go down the path that they did when it comes to mental health. It's kind of interesting. Crosshair has some serious PTSD. Now, we know that he's really reluctant to talk about what happened on Tantus, but why? Why is he so reluctant? What happened on Tantus that was that bad? He knew straight away about the Clone X and the Clone X troopers, which I called them Shadow Troopers last time because I saw there was the captions on the TV, and it said Shadow Trooper. If that's true or if it's Clone X, I saw the guys at Beyond the Dune Sea say that it's Clone X, and hey, I'm all there for it. I am all there for it. If they say it, I believe it. We are Beyond the Dune Sea mega fans over here. If you're watching this and you haven't seen Beyond the Dune Sea, this one sucks compared to Beyond the Dune Sea. They are the GOATs. The GOATs. No one tops Beyond the Dune Sea. Mortis FM comes pretty close. But it's just Beyond the Dune Sea, so incredible. Connor is one of the most stand-up guys that I've ever had the pleasure of talking to. And Seth, don't even get me started on how kind and beautiful that man is. Just seriously down to earth, an incredible, incredible person. Super blessed, super lucky to be able to talk to them. And they are the reason why we started here. So anytime they say something, it is the law around here. It is Blaw's Law. Listen to Beyond the Dune Sea. And if you don't, shut this podcast off and chuck it on. They're the best in the world. I thought there were a couple of things that I thought with this one. Is it because of the DNA splicing? It seems like a lot of the work that they did on Tantus. I meant to be like, I unpatched back to what it was before. But you know what I meant. It seems like maybe the DNA splicing could have affected his PTSD because we saw that they didn't put him under at all when he was, well, I mean, they did, but when he was doing experiments, they didn't really put him under. He got zapped and tortured and forced information out of him. Where's the money? Lebowski, where's the money? But I just want to know what happened. Are we going to get a flashback? Are we going to get even like a whole episode of a flashback? That would be sick. That would be sick. I don't think it is the DNA splicing, but I actually think they're trying to introduce proper PTSD. I think we're seeing weakness of the clones because they were built up in the Clone Wars as these amazing soldiers who could do no wrong. They were the best of the best, so much better than the droids. Because of them, the Republic were doing so well, and the Republic were winning against the Separatists. But now we're seeing their weakness. And now we're seeing that because the Empire doesn't want them, what the hell's going to happen to them? Where are they going to go? What are they going to do? And this is just another side of it. And not every one of them can be like Gregor before he got his memory back. They can't just lose their memory and then just go about a regular life. They're war-torn. They have been put through the work. I'm glad we're seeing some mental health issues coming up. They're not the strongest guys, but they can be strong when they're together. So, is it PTSD from what happened on Tantus, or is it just because he's maybe even just losing his mind from maybe even the chip, the explosion? Who knows? We'll figure it out. We are introduced to an awesome theme from Jedi Fallen Order. Now, the target for Hunter and Wrecker is Sylar Saris. Now, he's a gladiatorial champion from Ordo Eris. Now, I had to just say that because I was going to botch that name. I said that name to myself. I kept on saying, I'm like, Sylar Saris, Bila Barris. What? The Sylar Saris. So I had to keep on saying it. So that's the reason why I'm reading it. And Ordo Eris, that's actually an asteroid station. Asteroid HQ for the... what are they called? I have them here. For the Haxian Brood. That's it. Haxian Brood are some of the evil people that you are fighting in Jedi Fallen Order. I love the continuity in this. I love that they're adding all of this together, that we're seeing stuff from the games. We're seeing things from the stuff that I love, that I'm so passionate about. The Jedi series are incredible. Incredible. And if you love Jedi Fallen Order, you will fall in love with Jedi Survivor. Hell, I know my girlfriend's cousins, they're young. They play Jedi Survivor and they're obsessed with it. All ages, it's the best. Basically, Sylar Saris is nicknamed the Slayer of Ordo Eris. Ordo Eris, as I said before, it's a stronghold for the Haxian Brood. Basically, he killed a bunch of high-ranking officials from the Haxian Brood, and he was sentenced there, death by combat. Gladiatorial style! That's a song from Gladiator. If you know me, that's one of my favorite movies. If not my favorite movie, actually. Nah, screw it. It's my favorite movie. I didn't want to say it wasn't. It was my favorite movie because I was like, oh, it's a Star Wars podcast. I have to have a Star Wars movie as my favorite. No. Gladiator, my favorite movie of all time. If you want me to sing every single song from that, I'll do a little... even then, I was thinking I'll do a Christmas album for you guys. How about that? You like my singing? I could even do a little bit of Elvis. Oh, you ain't nothing but a hound dog. Best impression you've ever heard in your life. Yeah, basically we saw Ordo Eris on Jedi Fallen Order. you had to go through there, and it was like a huge gladiatorial thing where they dumped in all of these different enemies. So you saw like troopers from around the place. You saw beasts that you fought in previous missions and so on. And this guy is incredible. So if he was the Slayer over there, and he won, because the thing is, when you win all of that, you win your freedom. They're like, yep, go ahead, go, have a good one. It's kind of cool. I like that kind of stuff. It is obviously ancient Roman based, but I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love ancient Rome. So anytime I can get a little bit of that, I'm all over it. So yeah, anyways, beyond that, I'm obsessed with the game. So anytime you give me a little bit more game like info, I'm right there. Fennec's ship looks like a Republic gunship. Huh? When I saw it, I saw it from the back and I was like, hit it from the back. When I saw it from the back, I was like, oh, that kind of looks like a Venator class, like a tiny Venator class. Oh, they're just trying to... No, not a Venator class. It looked like the Halo UNSC. It looked like a Halo UNSC ship. And then it came in from the side, and I swear to God, if you put in that sound of the Republic gunship going down, like the brrrr, I promise you everyone would have seen the exact same thing. It's the walls on it, how it has kind of like those slightly dented in grooves, and then it's got like just the wing shape. Yep, 100% Republic gunship. And it kind of helps that the planet that they're on looks like Camino. Like the buildings on there looked exactly like what it was on Camino. There's a reason for it. It's because it's completely water and they need a place to stand on that's not bloody crawling with alligators or whatever the creatures are called there. But we're going to just call them alligators. Obviously, that's because it looks like that, because it's on stilts. But still, I love how all of this, every single part of this show has elements of clones. Be that completely separate, it could be that, Fennec Shand, the bounty hunter from bloody nowhere near the clones. And even she has a ship that kind of looks like a Republic gunship, partnered with the planet that she's been on multiple times, which looks like Camino. I love that they do all that kind of stuff. And then they add in that the helmets are airtight. I'm a sucker for an airtight helmet. Don't ask me why. Fine. Twist my arm. You got it. It's just ever since I saw all of the cutscenes from Halo, and he goes and he puts on his helmet and goes, Tsh! Mike, that is the coolest thing ever. This dude can survive in his whole suit. And then I saw Mando have it, and everyone knows I'm a huge Mando fan. I know you're probably like, Jeremy, you wore that shirt last time. I have 3 of these shirts. This is my large one. Sorry, I just got attacked by a mullet. I have 3 of them. So you better expect me to wear it again. I saw Mando have it again, and I'm like, hell yes. It secures by the neck. I don't know how it does it. I tried to look up on Reddit, and I saw that there was they called it an EVA, which reminded me of Halo because they have the EVA helmets. But either way, they have the EVA locking mechanism that goes... And that's what Boba actually used. He used that oxygen filtration system plugged it into his helmet when he was in the Sarlacc pit from the Stormtrooper. So we're continuity-wise, we're killing it. All right, these guys can survive in space, and they can also go down into the depths of the swamp. I wrote down here, Louisiana Bayou. The whole theme for this. I had this because I got this because I wanted to do I got one for everyone in my share house, and I'm going to do it like a house photo, and we're all going to be wearing these. So it just works so well that it was just like a redneck thing. But it looks exactly like Louisiana and the Bayou, and you got those Cajun, the Cajun territory. But it's what makes Star Wars so relatable, It makes it so, like, this is why people tune in. This is why people watch it. And it's not a sci-fi, it is a fantasy. It's basically our world if our world was better. Like, come on, be real. It's like a slightly more primitive but super advanced version of what we have. There's alligators. There's, the Bayou ships that they were on. It was like those big, they have the ships there, the little boats, sorry, that have the big fan on the back, and they've got the one big rudder and just like kind of gearing them along. I love it. 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 They're doing the right thing. They continue along the right path, which is relatability. This whole episode is about relatability. Be that Crosshair's mental health, or if that's, just the planet that Hunter and Wrecker are on. You're obviously going to see, Hunter is super skilled with his tracking, and Wrecker is super strong. That's not as relatable, but it's the planets that they're on. It's what they do. It's like putting out-of-world characters in our world and seeing how they go. And people look at it and they go, oh, wow. They get inspired by the places that they're in. Maybe you may go swamp hunting. I don't know what the hell you do in a swamp. I know I've seen videos of people pulling out alligators by little rip cords and stuff. So I'm going to assume they go hunting. But it's what makes Star Wars so special. I'm not going to harp on about it. Relatability is so big for me, especially in Star Wars. How the characters act and react to their situations, the situations that they've been put in, and also how everything looks is just so core to what makes it so relatable and touchable to every single person. Like, you feel like you can touch it. You've had a similar experience. You know what it's like. You never get in that water. You know what I mean? Like, you never get in. Anyways, I ramble. So I'm not going to go on too much about the fight and so on, because it was pretty clear. Like, Hunter and Wrecker are just such an incredible combo. They are the best duo. Fennec is a fucking loser. I don't know why they make you hate her so much in this episode, but she also sucks. She's not a good fighter. She was outsmarted by a child. She's a stupid butthead. One thing I don't understand is the mines and the boats, everything had 2 wires. As a demolition expert, oh, bloody hell, it's a 50-50. Cut the red. It's only 2 wires and everything. That's a shitty security protocol. You could hack into anything. You could blow up anything. You could disarm anything. Hell, I could go in there, flip a coin. I've got it. What? Look, 2 wires. I don't know why that triggered me. But every time I was just like, what the hell? It's just 2. I'll slip off a little panel and there's 2 wires hanging out. Oh, okay. It's a good guess, Hunter. You probably knew before, but anyways. I loved when they're in the swamp and they're chilling in the water, and just the animation, the lighting was super bright when they were in there, so you could see everything and the distinct difference between the water, which was really murky, and their armor. And you got to see how worn their armor was. Their armor was super cut up, super worn, super torn. It's kind of sad. Like, these guys are run down. They're not the same clones. They don't have the same budget. They even have to do this just for information. They don't even get any money from it. Our favorite guys are struggling. And that's why I have started a GoFundMe for the clones, Hunter and Wrecker. We're trying to get them better armor. So just please donate as much as you can. I'm going to put the GoFundMe right here. Okay? Please send some money through. We've got to get our clones some better armor. All right. I talked about mental health in this. Fight's done. Cool. They take him down and he goes off, and then they'll go back to the ship. I'll talk about the ship after. But the important part that you see is the cutscene to Omega and Crosshair. And the way Crosshair is just shaking and he's so angry and he can't do anything. And he's just like so frustrated and pent up and just rageful. All it takes is the sweet touch of Omega to be able to lightly press her hand and to calm his whole world. Now, from a personal point of view, I've struggled with mental health for a while, and I've had a very similar thing with my girlfriend. Now, I'm not saying Crosshair and Omega are, going to be dating or anything like that, but I just remember whenever I have, if I ever have a panic attack, if I ever have problems in my life, and if I'm pent up, if I don't know what's going on, I'm stressful, and I'm just so confused, and everything's going on in my mind, and it's not racing, it's not stopping, it's racing, it's going, and then it's just the gentle feeling of my girl's hand on my chest or just wrapping her arm around me. She's the most incredible soul this world has ever seen. And that scene just, I think I embraced it a little harder because of that, because I understand. I understand Crosshair's his tension. He's got so much tension built up inside of him because of all of his past experiences and his trauma and what's happened to him. That the love of a good human like Omega can calm all doubt, can soothe any wound, and heal the soul. My girlfriend is a prime example of that in my life. She's an incredible light, and I believe they're doing the same thing with Omega. Not in a relationship way, I'll state that again, but just purely as someone who he can open up with. Kudos to you, Disney. Kudos to you for creating a situation in which kids are able to see mental health in a new light. Kudos to you. That was an incredible job, and honestly, it brought a bit of a tear to my eye because I understand his pain, but if you can just talk about it, just talk. Please, just talk about your mental health. Maybe it's going to get a little better. A little deep, that one. Okay, we should probably not go as deep. That was... Oh, settle down, girls. I like that I have that tea there. Okay. So, towards the end, we see Fennec Shand basically say to Hunter and Wrecker, yeah, by the way, I didn't fail catching Omega. I was called off of the bounty. Why the hell was she called off the bounty? Well, she said Omega would be safer with you guys, being Hunter and Wrecker. I don't think that's the case. I actually think that Hemlock knew and he's planned everything from the beginning to be able to capture these guys. Hemlock is a different breed. He's a different guy. We're not seeing the last of his genius. There is something going on with that guy. He is a mastermind. Not Palpatine's level, but we're seeing some serious villainy coming from Hemlock. Is it the final time we're going to be seeing Hemlock in Bad Batch Season 3? Or is he going to go a little more? Are we going to see him in further live action projects? I don't know. But it makes me think, well, this isn't the end of some serious depth to our villains in Star Wars. Palpatine's not the only one. Vader doesn't really have a lot of depth. You killed my wife. I will kill everyone! Whereas Palpatine, he's conniving, he's cunning and evil. He's truly evil to the core. I hope Hemlock does the same. And I hope Scorch does something to him to take him down, because I've been playing the Republic Commando game and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. My favorite, though, Sev. If we can see Sev with that big red paint hand mark, so cool. Last little bit, we have... Oh, why did I do that? Sorry. I got a little ahead of myself. Last little bit, when we're seeing Crosshair and Omega and they're meditating and they're breathing and they've had that beautiful moment that we just talked about previously and we just touched on. You see them meditating, looking towards the sunset. Very, very reminiscent of Luke's death on Ahch-To. I liked it. I really liked it. I thought that was like, you know what? They're in touch with the Force. They really are. If there's any highlight that Disney can do to kind of bring back to their own work to make you think of something that they did, not what Lucas did, I think they've done that pretty masterfully. We got to see some beautiful content with those two. Omega and Crosshair, that is a duo I didn't expect, but I don't want to leave. I'm really happy they're expanding on that. And just seeing that beautiful final moment, touching with the Force. No, they may not be Force sensitive, but everyone has the ability to sense the Force within them and to allow it to guide you. The Force is with me. I am one with the Force. And to top it all off, who is this mysterious villain that Fennec Shand has betrayed Hunter and Wrecker to? It's Asajj Ventress. Straight face. It's Asajj Ventress. Has to be. You're like, why they muffled the voice, I don't know. I really don't know. But I feel like it's Asajj Ventress. Like, if they're going to show Asajj Ventress in the trailer and then they muffle this... Come on, brother. Do it better. Just don't show Asajj in the trailer and then muffle that and go, who the hell is that? I actually, if I didn't see Asajj Ventress in the trailer, I would have thought it's Boba. 100%. Not just because of Fennec Shand and him later on, but I actually would have thought Boba. He's working with the Empire right now. He's working hand in hand with Vader. He's part of the elite crew. So, who is it? Asajj Ventress. It has to be. Anyways, far out. That was a whole bunch of good stuff for an overview. We get into theories for the next episodes, as in not next episode purely itself, the next episodes. I think they are going to meet up with Asajj Ventress. We are going to see her explain M count, and she might even be able to touch into Omega using the Force, just like Ahsoka was able to kind of read her mind and read Grogu's mind, and kind of like sense his thoughts. They were able to communicate through the Force. Maybe she is able to scan her body through the Force to be able to sense how strong Omega is, if she actually has high midichlorian count or if she's just a blank template. Theories for the next episode, purely just the next episode. The next episode, we are going to see the batch join back together and get taken on by a big enemy. Maybe Asajj tries to kill them until she realizes that she can actually help. Who knows? Who knows? But I think this next episode has got a lot of really good stuff coming up. I pray that it's not going to be filler-esque. Maybe we can even see, I think, the biggest theory for this next episode, we're going to get a flashback of Crosshair's past with the Empire and what happened. It's got a big season coming up. We've got to kind of leave a little bit more gap. I hope, even if it's just the whole episode is just a recap of what happened to him on Tantus, because Omega is allowing him to be able to breathe. Bloody beautiful stuff. The next segment, I was so keen for. I was like reaching for it before. I was like, come on, let's go get it. I have it over here. What? We have power battles again. Oh my god, power battles with 116 characters. I had to leave that little envelope on it because I actually love the fact that I was able to kind of like draw that on there. Anyways, okay, so we have Bode Acuna. That worked so well because we talked about it today. Okay, and we have Darth Nihilus. Oh my god. All right, that's going to be a quick power battle. Everyone, what do you think? What do you think? Okay. Okay. So first of all, we have Bode Acuna. And then next, we have Darth Nihilus. I'll give you 3 seconds to think about it. 1, 2, 3. Darth Nihilus. Darth Nihilus. I think that is so unfair to have Darth Nihilus in there. So I'm gonna, because it was so quick, and I like that they had the Jedi series themes into it. Fuck it. I'm gonna pull another one. Okay. We have Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, I put in Master Obi-Wan Kenobi because I meant the Obi-Wan Kenobi with Anakin. He's not Jedi Knight. He is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. Look, I think it's actually going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough because Bode fights with more than one style of weapon. He fights with a blaster and he also fights with a lightsaber. If he had both, Obi-Wan still wins. But I think it takes him a good bit. And I think he has to overcome something to be able to beat him. As well as Bode was a lot more powerful at that time because there weren't a lot of Sith. There wasn't a lot of power, so it was able to be spread out a little more densely. And he was just like super powerful. He overpowered Cal like that, and Cal is a super powerful Jedi. That was an awesome power battle. That was so funny with Darth Nihilus. That was just not fair. We are going to get a lot of those. We are going to get a lot of those. I can assure you of that. Anyways, okay. We're wrapping up. We have the questions from the audience. Now, I post on my Instagram every week around Tuesday and early Wednesdays. Obviously, I posted a little bit later today, so I don't have a lot of responses. Let's see here. We have just one, but one's better than none. And this is from Tia Galanos. Who's your least favorite character and why? Well, thank you, Tia. Thank you for your question. Thank you for your contribution for today. Let me stroke my mullet and my mo. That's a mullet-mo combo. Anyone knows that is a lady killer. Who is my favorite character and why? Let me just... No, sorry, least favorite character and why. God, I nearly answered that. Least favorite character. Look, controversial, no. For the wrong reasons, no. I hate Rose from the sequel trilogy. Now, a lot of people have come out with a lot of blatant racist and sexist comments towards Rose the character and the actress herself. The actress, I love the actress. She's incredible. I've actually seen her in other work as well. She's a fantastic actress. Nothing against her. It is the writers of this role. Sadly, it seems as though the sequels were plagued by poor writers. And with that, she was poorly written. I hate one thing that made me hate this character more than any other character. When Finn was going to sacrifice himself to blow up the massive drill using that skimmer, and he was about to get there, and then Rose just goes, "Meep, poof." Because love. Oh my God. Oh my God, that was so stupid. Could have ended everything. Sacrifice one. It's like that train thing. It's like you have 5 people laying on a track or one person laying on a track. Which one do you pull to kill? The one person. And she's like, I did it because I can't lose another person today. And he goes, I know you guys on the other camera wanted to be on the other side of that kiss. I'll give you a little. Nah, you cheeky. I've got a girlfriend. And it may or may not be Tia Galanos who puts a question in every single week. You're a sweetheart and I love you. Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. She could have been such a good character. From an engine mechanic to becoming one of the head of the Rebel Alliance. What a story. It's similar to the Han Solo. Being a scumbag. Becoming a general. What? Anyways, they could have done her so much better. I don't like that character. And I hope that is enough of an explanation. I don't really have too many characters that come close to that. I legitimately hate that character so much. But please, again, no hate towards the actress. No hate towards the actress. She's incredible. And to anyone who comes out saying all of these sexist and racist comments, kindly, and I'll say this is not a kids channel, go fuck yourself. You're a fucking asshole. She's doing her job. It's the writer's fault, not her. I think she played it beautifully. I just don't like the character. All right. Now we have the questions for the audience. I've written down a few here. Is this the last time we see Rex and Echo until the next episode? Until the last episode? Now, I put that one in there because I thought, well, maybe, just maybe, we could see Rex and Echo kind of joining in as that Avengers thing. Personally, I want them to join up throughout. I want them to join up on the next episode because, as I said, the clones at this point of Bad Batch transcend the batch itself. The clones are now a whole. It is them against the Empire. Don't split up. Don't remove yourself from the group. Stay together. Rex, Echo, Gregor, any of their remnants of their squad and the batch need to be together in order for this clone rebellion to work. And I think that a clone rebellion is on the way. Okay, who do you think was the muffled voice? Now, I think it's Asajj Ventress, but it also could be Hemlock. It also could, because Fennec worked for the Empire. They sent her the contract before. She could just call up a previous employer. Like, hey, by the way, they're asking about M count. Do you guys want to go get these dudes? I can give their coordinates. Just trust me. You forget the money means more. I hate her so much. I don't know why. I really don't know why they make me want to hate her so much, but I really do. Next question. Will Crosshair get control of his hand? Now, it could be like a last minute, oh, okay, I can't do this. I can't make the shot in my hands. And then Omega goes, hey, breathe. And he just goes, Pow! Pow! And he basically saves the day. It could be something like that. I think that'd be really cool. But then again, he might also just not have it. And then we'll find out that he's more than just a clone with good aim. He's a brother. And then the last one, why do you think they added Fennec? They could have added so many more people. They could have added Asajj Ventress a lot earlier. Why do you think they added Fennec? Personally, I think they added Fennec because of her connection to Boba later on. Instinctively, you think, oh, wait. For the people who haven't watched too much of it outside, they go, oh, wait. That's the girl with the orange suit that was with Boba Fett. Boba Fett's a clone as well. I think that's kind of what they're doing there. They're just kind of misleading you. I know it's a later time, but a lot of people don't really think of the timeline when they're going through it. I mean, that is a big reason why I think Star Wars should be released in chronological order. In every single film and every single TV show should be released in chronological order so that we kind of have that new experience every time. Like, what could happen? I legitimately don't know what's going to happen. But if we know, oh, hey, by the way, Fennec's going to survive. Like, if she gets into a perilous situation, yeah, she's alive later on. Nah, don't worry about it. But if we get stuck on some real stuff where it's like, oh, what's going to happen here? That's why I'm keen for Asajj Ventress. I'm keen to see what happens with Asajj Ventress and what they're going to do and the way they kind of reworked her back from the dead. Who knows? But my friends, my family, my loved one, you have been incredible for coming along today. Thank you so much for watching. Next episode, we're going to do a breakdown of the newest Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 9. I'm really keen. I'm loving this season so far. It has been so much fun. Guys, also, massive love in the comments. Massive love in the comments. Massive love in just likes. I've been posting more reels lately, so you should probably see a little more reels. I've been talking to the guys at Beyond the Dune Sea, and they've been helping me out trying to like understand how to edit and so on. So you'll be seeing a lot more of that, and hopefully they're good quality for you. Hopefully you enjoy the content. I'm loving this so far, and I'm loving everything you guys have been giving me. I love you guys. This has been such a surreal experience. Little creators shout out as well, Mortis FM. I can't tell you how supportive they've been. Love you guys. I'm massive fans, and the fact that you watch some of my stuff, speechless. Both you and Beyond the Dune Sea have been non-stop some of the most incredible people that I've ever had the pleasure of talking to. So to you guys, thank you, and I love you. And to everyone watching, it has been an absolute honor. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching our Blore on Mandalore. It's not a Blore on Mandalore. I don't know why. Blore on Mandalore. It's been a killer show. All right. Thanks, guys.